supplier for hydraulic stuff, and they will supply it. But it's a little tricky, so I recommend just phone up the dealer and say I want a seal kit for a Reliable or a Greenlee. Do note, Greenlee, the packing nuts come pre-packed, Reliable does not. So if you have Reliable and you want to buy something pre-made or pre-packed, go for Greenlee. They come pre-packed, at least my dealer has that option. They pre-pack it for you. I like packing it myself. Sometimes people, they nick the seals, or because I use this little guy right here. These are rounded pliers or smooth, and I'm just gonna curl that seal in. Again, we're gonna put grease on all the seal grooves so it prevents corrosion. Also it makes it easier to slide it in to the groove. I already wiped this clean with a paper towel off camera. I got a paper towel like this and just went around inside with my finger, just like this paper towel, and just wipe the inside of it before you put the seals in, because there could be grit or dust on these parts. But I already have wiped them off already, so they're clean inside. The main thing is cleanliness, almost like you're building an engine of a car or something. It has to be clean. You can't have dust in the air blowing around, because the dust will go on the part you're putting into the tool. Yeah, not crazy amounts, but just generous. Alright, let's first put our O-ring on. This is number 20 O-ring Boss. It's hard, it's a 9-inch diameter. I don't use the regular O-rings, I know the kit does, but I use a O-ring Boss. Just kind of slide it on, it's really stiff. The reason why is that is so it's a little stiffer. So we want it like that. Next I'm doing the urethane U-cup. They have 2 U-cups on this. Is kind of odd. Most hydraulic cylinders don't really do this. They most likely just, try and get this in here. They mostly just have 1 U-cup, but these pole tampers have 2. Twist it in. Do not pinch the seal when you're trying to put it in. If you see it starting to pinch, pull it out and replace it with a new one. And if it's sharp, I would just suggest deburring it with some sandpaper in your fingers. Work it around in your finger. Just what I'm doing is I'm pushing really hard on one side, trying to make sure it's worked in almost like that. Next is this guy, wiper. This is an AN wiper. Again, we're going to use our pick, our pliers, twist, curl it in, and release. And if you want, you can get a screwdriver to assist like this and just kind of help push it in and just swirl it around. Make sure it's smooth and no sharp edges. Removing the excess grease that will come out. That grease will inhibit rust and lubricate the seals when I'm putting it into the packing. So it should look like that. Going to the back side. Just like that. Okay, we are packed. I'm gonna get a rag. I'm gonna wipe down the shaft. One tip is that if you have a whole bunch of these tampers, let's say you're a repair shop for a Reliable or Greenlee, instead of buying new, you can rechrome them if they are not bent or cracked. You can buy a crack tester and crack test it, but these ones these snapped off. Like they actually snapped the shaft right off. The foot was separate, so I put it in the press and pressed it out. That's why I bought new shafts, because they literally snapped the old one. These are glass hard. that. Yes, I know it's stiff. I know that looks really, really stiff, but it's normal. Look like this. Move the camera over. We're going to be applying Loctite to our packing nut because this tool will vibrate like crazy. It shakes, it vibrates, whatever you want. Be generous in the Loctite. I know some people are saying that's too much Loctite. Well, I don't want it falling off. I'd rather have a little bit too much than too little. So probably a quarter of the circumference of the thread. We're going to slide this on. We're going to screw it on. Okay, I'm going to get a wrench and we're going to torque it up. I'm using a very large adjustable wrench for this, and we're going to torque it up. Again, no real specific torque as long as it is tight and then it bottomed out. If you want, you can get a pipe on the end of this wrench and further torque it up, but I suggest do not do that. Just that's tight. Tight as your hands can make it with that wrench. It's a big 18-inch wrench. All right, just wiping off anything extra. All right, so it's pretty much mostly built. We're going to flip it around and we're going to put the plugs in next. So let's get the camera in a little closer now and see what I'm doing. So we're going to be screwing on these plugs. They're MPT. We're going to be using tape. Some people want to use plumbing or, they want to use pipe dope. You can do that, but I like to use tape. Sometimes it's a little greasy or oily, or it has a bit of kerosene residue and the dope doesn't adhere to the pipe parts. So we're going to be putting plumbing tape on the part right here. Just putting it on right now. We're going to get our, I think it's a 5/8 wrench, and we're going to